I had to completely isolate myself in the beginning when I first started day trading in order to become profitable. So when I first started day trading, I was working a job at a car dealership and I had a good amount of friends. I would go to a lot of car meets. I would do a lot of things with people. I did not have the best habits. I definitely had a lot of things I needed to work on and improve in order to become a better version of myself that would allow profitability. So I quickly came to the realization that I had to isolate myself from all of those bad habits and all of those people in order to get to where I want to be at. And all it took was a little over a year for me to get there. Now, when I say isolate yourself, I don't mean literally lock yourself in a room 24/7. What I mean is you need to isolate yourself from negativity and old habits that kept you unprofitable. Isolate yourself from old people that didn't have any benefit in your life, people that brought you down, people that made you do bad things, and people that overall didn't have the same goals as you and don't realistically want to see you win. You need to isolate yourself from those type of people in order to grow. Once one door closes, another one opens. Just remember that. In the beginning, I loved going to car meets. I loved hanging out with friends every single day. I loved doing things that gave me instant pleasure and instant dopamine. But when I first started day trading, I realized I had zero attention span. I was always getting invited to go do this and that, but I was so glued to YouTube and learning how to day trade that I realized I have to completely cut out all of those things that I was doing in order to get to the next step in life. And ever since I cut out all of those people and I cut out all of those bad habits, everything completely changed for me. I don't talk to those people anymore. I don't do any of those activities that I used to do. And I'm in such an amazing point in my life right now compared to the people that I used to be around, and they're still doing the same things every single day. I realized that was the move that needed to be done, and I'm telling you that you more than likely need to do the same exact thing. I completely stopped consuming others' opinions, and I solely focused on what I wanted and what really mattered to me. I used to get validation from other people, and I used to tell people my goals and what I was gonna do, and that only brought me so far from the actual goal that I wanted to achieve. And I always wondered why nothing was ever going well for me. And it was mainly just because I wasn't the right person in the current moment to achieve all of these things. I had to develop my character and I had to build myself up as an individual in order to get to where I'm at right now. It's really true when people say the friends that you hang around with are a clear representation of your future, because that is so true. And one of the key points with me isolating myself was I was allowing myself to be bored. I had to become okay with being bored. Being bored is one of the most important things and one of the crucial key points to success. Because if you're always being filled by dopamine and always being filled by irrational things that don't get you closer to your goals, that only give you some satisfaction in the current moment, you need to realize that those things are short-term pleasures, and short-term pleasures are not good for long-term goals. I started to do things that I never liked doing, reading books, constantly journaling, and being glued to my screen 24/7 learning a skill. I had a very unorganized routine when I was first learning how to day trade, and the more I wanted to day trade and the urge to get it and become profitable became so extreme that I completely changed my routine entirely, and I became a whole new person. I pretty much had the old version of myself completely pass away. It died. I became a whole new person, and in return, I had a whole entire different outcome, a whole different life. The isolation was so important for my success, and without it, I would definitely not be where I'm at right now, because I learned things about myself in that isolation that I never even knew were there. I never knew this ambition and this drive was there. I never knew how bad I wanted to improve and literally level up my character until I isolated myself. I started to wake up earlier. I started to eat way healthier. I started to hit the gym every single day. I was in the sauna and the steam room every single day with headphones in, thinking about the future that I desired and the future that I wanted. I wrote down exactly what I needed to do in order to get to that future self that I really desired to become. And I did all of those things. All of those people that were in my life before, I cut them out. I shut them out completely. I unfollowed them. I stopped texting them. I completely just ignored their text. And instead of going out with them, I would sit in my room and study the charts or journal and really try to understand myself in order to become a better version of myself. I became so obsessed with the process of becoming better and leveling up that it overly consumed my life, but it wasn't a bad thing. It was a really good thing, actually. And everybody always asks me, Evan, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And it's very simple. I isolated myself and I literally locked in for a year and made the decision to change my life. And in me doing so, and me putting in that energy, my entire life changed. I mean, it's 1 + 1 = 2. It's literally that simple. Also, I learned the difference between loneliness and solitude. When you're lonely, you feel like you need other things from other people's satisfaction, validation, and actions in your life to fill a void that it seems like you're missing. And solitude was me intentionally creating a space in order for me to focus, to level up as an individual. Solitude and isolation is where you truly figure out the true version of yourself and your real personality and what your true desires are. Because you're removing all of the noise, you're removing all of the distractions, all of the voices, all of the unnecessary things going on in your life to then pave a very clear path to the future that you want. And it becomes so much easier, and you know exactly what you should be doing in that current moment when you simply isolate yourself and you remove all of those distractions from your life. The journaling helped me understand myself on a very deep level, and without isolation and solitude, I would never be journaling. I also became way more protective of my mental space. I started to almost put like a shield around myself and protect myself from outside sources and overall negativity that was going on around me that was only stopping me from getting to where I wanted to be in life. Negativity is like putting brakes on your life. You need to cut out negativity, and a lot of times when you're with other people, there's a lot of subconscious negative actions that are going on. It can be drama, it can just be complaining about anything like prices or whatever. And once you're not in that space anymore and you're truly with yourself and you're really focused on self-development, that's when you get to the next step. Without having other people's distractions, I stopped comparing myself to them and putting timelines on things. You may notice right now that you're comparing yourself to a person. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be somebody online. When you isolate yourself and you take them out of your life, the only person you're focused on is yourself, your progression, your success, not theirs, not what they're doing, not how fast they're succeeding, because you really don't know what's going on in that person's life. You really don't. All you need to do is focus on your life, your problems, and create solutions to those problems. And that begins with isolation. If you have somebody always inviting you out every single night to go drink, go smoke, go just complain, go do whatever you want, please cut that person out of your life if you're really serious about improving and becoming a better version of yourself, whether that's a profitable version of yourself if you're a day trader, whether that's something in business, whether that's a career that you're chasing in school, whatever it is, just know that that person or that negative aspect in your life needs to get completely flushed out. And you need to really understand yourself and understand what works for you in order to build yourself up and get to the next stage in life. You really need to start thinking of life as leveling up. That's exactly what I did in the beginning. I was so focused on just making myself better 1% every single day. If I can get to 2% or 3% better every day, I was doing literally every single thing I can every single day to become a better version of myself and become better looking, to become smarter, become more fit, understand the charts better. Whatever I could do, I was doing it because I wanted it so bad. I was so hungry. I needed this so bad, and I would never change this for anything. It was a struggle for about a year, but it was one of the best years of my life because I learned so much about myself in isolation that I started to understand how I deal with problems. And I noticed that there was a complete shift in my mentality and my energy. I was not the same person before. I was not complaining as much before. I was creating so many solutions to problems that I never thought I could create solutions to. I started to respect people more. I started to act in the way that I really, really wanted to act. And my life changed so fast. I'm really thinking about it right now. Like it's really incredible how fast my life changed. I remember I was at my mom's house not too long ago, living with my mom, and I would just sit in the backyard and just like, we had like a rocking chair, and I would just stress in that rocking chair thinking like, what am I doing right now? Like, why is my life going the way it is right now? I have nothing going for me. And I made the decision to change. I was so upset and so frustrated because I knew I had so much more in me, and I knew I could achieve whatever I wanted in life. I had to cut some ties out. I had to take some things out of my life and change the person I am to get those things. And that's when I made the decision to get a job, start day trading, completely isolate myself, literally block everybody. I started to not like anybody anymore. I started to only be focused on myself. And it may sound selfish, but it was crucial for my success. And I realized it wasn't even me being selfish. It was just God telling me these are the things that you need to do. And if you continue on the path that you're currently on, it's going to be rough for you, kiddo. That's literally what he was saying to me. You need to change. You know there is so much greatness within you that you just have to find it. You just have to go find yourself, and you just have to level up. And honestly, like, one of the most important things for me that I was doing was I was hitting the gym. And you hear it all the time. Hit the gym, you become better, etc. This became a very personal thing for me. And it wasn't in the sense to get big and jacked or anything like that. It was to push myself through hard times. It was to push myself and prove to myself that I can do it even though I don't want to. After a really, really hard session in the gym of me pushing myself and listening to motivational speaking such as Joe Dispenza or anybody who is about that type of spiritual life, anything I could listen to, honestly, I would then go in the sauna in the steam room, and I would just sit there with my headphones in and really, really focus on the life that I wanted, really focus on who I needed to become and why and what I wanted to become. And for me, it was day trading, number one. Like, I was so focused. I was listening to ICT a lot of the times in the gym as well, which is kind of crazy. You might think about, like, it's kind of ridiculous, but I was literally listening to like ICT in the gym, in the sauna, and in the car on my way to work every single day. I was so focused on self-development. I'm getting like kind of choked up right here. I'm not gonna lie. I was so focused and like, bro, I wanted this so bad, guys. I wanted this so bad. I was willing to do anything, willing to take any risks that would get me here. And it worked out, you know? It really, really worked out. Bro, I've never choked up in a video before. That's crazy. But you guys don't know like how much I was struggling and how many signs God was giving me that I needed to change because there was a better life out there for me. I just had to get it. I just had to go out and get it, and I did. Like, it may not seem like a lot is changing for you guys in the current moment and you're on some crazy self-development path like I was, or I still am. It may not seem like a lot is changing, but I promise you, the gears are rolling. Things are changing. It's just a matter of time. You will notice you are not the same person in 3 months if you stick to the self-development path that you're on right now. And you might need to make a couple of adjustments. Like there might be things right now that you know you should be changing, so change them. I knew I still had some bad habits on my self-development journey, whether it was like something I was not eating that I knew wasn't the best, or just something small like that, some little changes that I just needed to make. It could have been a change of words, of vocabulary. Make those changes. Be conscious and make those changes. So yeah, that's how isolation and self-development really changed my life. And it's so worth it, guys. It's so worth it. Please apply the things that I told you to apply in this video. I promise you your life will change. It will. It has to. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.